On April 14, 1994, the chief executives of America's 7 largest tobacco companies sat before Congress and raised their white hands. One by one, under oath, they repeated the exact same claim to the committee. They believed nicotine was not addictive. This wall of corporate solidarity projected complete confidence to the public. But tucked away in their own corporate archives, the executives already knew the truth. 31 years earlier, in 1963, Addison Yeaman, the general counsel for Brown and Williamson, drafted a confidential internal memo. Reading it, we can see exactly how the company viewed itself. He wrote, "We are, then, in the business of selling nicotine, an addictive drug." Now, the tobacco plant naturally produces nicotine as a biological defense mechanism. The industry didn't invent the compound, and they didn't synthesize it. The industry's true deception was not the existence of that addictive hook, but the quiet evolution of the methods used to deliver it. That evolution started with sheer volume. In the 1880s, James Buck Duke licensed a device called the Bonsack machine, securing a near monopoly on automated cigarette production. This data visualization shows the scale of that technological leap. A highly skilled worker could hand-roll about 3,000 cigarettes a day. A single Bonsack machine produced 120,000. With that massive surplus in production, Duke crashed the retail price to a nickel a pack. He flooded industrial urban centers, targeting a new demographic of factory workers looking for a quick hit on their brakes. Mechanization stripped away the friction of rolling leaves by hand. A scarce agricultural luxury became a mass-market commodity. Over the next century, optimization moved into the physical design of the cigarette itself. In 1994, FDA Commissioner David Kessler testified that modern cigarettes were engineered as high-technology nicotine delivery systems. Looking at a schematic cross-section of a modern filter reveals one of the mechanisms he exposed. Manufacturers laser-drilled microscopic ventilation holes into the sides of the filters. When government testing machines smoked these cigarettes, those holes pulled in clean air, diluting the smoke and lowering the official tar and nicotine readings. But human biology overrides the test. When an actual person smokes, their lips and fingers naturally cover those microscopic holes. The clean air is blocked, and the smoker inhales a massive, undiluted dose. By engineering the filter to cheat the machine, companies could market a seemingly safer product while ensuring the user still received an addictive dose of nicotine. By the early 1960s, companies like Philip Morris were pushing that delivery system down to the molecular level. To build the Marlboro brand, they introduced ammonia chemistry into the manufacturing process. This stylized molecular animation shows how that works. When you introduce ammonia, it raises the alkalinity of the tobacco smoke. This pH shift strips a proton away from the nicotine molecule, converting it into its unprotonated, free base form. Because it lacks that extra proton, free base nicotine is more volatile and lipophilic. It crosses biological membranes much faster, speeding the delivery of the drug directly to the central nervous system. Philip Morris has always maintained that they used ammonia for flavor and processing, rather than deliberate freebasing. And independent scientists continue to debate exactly how much this process altered absorption rates in practice. But internal documents tell a highly specific story. Corporate researchers explicitly referred to ammonia as an impact booster. Regardless of public denials, the physical chemistry of the smoke was being actively tuned to maximize its effect. The 1994 congressional hearings, combined with thousands of leaked internal documents, finally broke the industry's shield. The fallout led to the 1998 Master Settlement Agreement, forcing the companies into strict regulations and massive payouts. Then, in 2006, federal judge Gladys Kessler issued a landmark ruling. She found that the major tobacco companies had committed civil fraud, engaging in a decades-long conspiracy of engineered deception. The lethal system systematically dragged the reality of the cigarette, a meticulously designed delivery device, out of the shadows and into the public record. The Bonsack machine and secret ammonia chemistry are well-documented history now, but the philosophy that drove those innovations remains completely intact. That philosophy treats a consumer product as a biological optimization problem. It strips away every point of friction between a user and a chemical dependency, hiding the mechanisms in plain sight. The question is, what happens when the next mass market product arrives? When a new industry engineers a delivery system tailored perfectly to our biological blind spots, will we spot the invisible hoax before the congressional hearings begin, or only after the damage is done?